Welcome back, my lovely friends. So today I'm going to show you how to make some boho pieces that will make a statement in your room. So let's go ahead and get started. To start off, I am making clusters of 3, and for a coaster you will need 4 clusters. This is a total of 12 blocks. To make 4 coasters, you will need 3 boxes of the Tumbling Tower game from the Dollar Tree. I also used a Gorilla Wood glue to adhere them together. You can use your glue gun, Fix-All, or E6000. I then wiped off the excess glue with a piece of cardboard. You can use a paper, maybe a paper towel, a damp towel, or even your fingers. I just didn't want to get all that stickiness on my fingers, so I opted out for the cardboard. Alright, my friends, this next step is optional. I am taking my leftover stain that I used for my room makeover, and since these DIYs are for the room, I decided to use it so that it looks cohesive. So the stain that I'm using is actually a gel stain in the color Golden Oak that I picked up at Home Depot. I've never used gel stain before, but after I completed the room, I was in love with it. It dries so quick and it has made projects so much easier to complete. So now it is time to glue the clusters of blocks together, and I decided to go with a vertical and horizontal pattern. So you'll see that some clusters of the blocks are horizontal while the others are vertical. I just thought it was unique and different, but again, you can create your own pattern to your own style. For this next step, I wanted to start off by giving you an option. You can braid any type of string that you have. It could be jute, yarn, maybe even an extra shoelace. Anything you have will work. I am using 2mm macrame cord that I purchased on Amazon, and I will leave a link down below for you in the description box. For this next part, I'm going to crochet, and I'm only going to crochet a chain that will fit around my coaster. If you don't know what I'm talking about or you don't know how to crochet, you can simply just use a braid like I mentioned earlier. I do have some crocheting videos that I will leave linked down below for you in the description box. I think I mentioned this in my last video, so excuse me for them. They're a little all over the place. It's when I first started YouTube. However, I still believe that you can learn how to crochet or even just chain so you can do this project as I am doing. So just a little side note, I am not giving any specific measurements on how long I am chaining, just because if you decide to use a different cord other than what I am using, the measurements will be different. So whether you are crocheting or you're braiding, leave a long tail at the end of your chain or braid that will wrap around the entire coaster. This will come along later in the DIY, and it just makes everything look a little bit more cohesive. This next step is also optional. I am going in with polyurethane to seal the wood. Since they are coasters, I want to protect them from any scratches or water damage. So just a little side note, I did go in with 2 coats of the polyurethane, and I did pick it up at Home Depot. Again, I'm going to leave it in the description box down below for you guys just in case you're interested. But if you have any other type of sealer just laying around, again, just use that. This was just left over from my home projects that I've been working on. Next, I am taking the cork sheet that I found at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to measure and cut out the size of the coaster. On this coaster, I went straight in with the X-Acto knife to score it, and then I went in with my detailing scissors to cut it out. The previous coaster, I did trace it, but I did not care for the pen markings, so I decided to try out this way. So now that I have the cork cut out, what I'm going to go in and do is adhere it to my coaster. And I am loving this cork, you guys. It is so sturdy. It adheres so strong, and I've not had to reinforce it with any type of other glue. So I highly recommend this cork for any little projects like this. And then I just go in with my detailing scissors just to kind of edge out anything, as well as my X-Acto knife. The last step is to glue down the cord that I crocheted earlier. Now, if you braided a cord, it doesn't matter what side you use. However, if you crocheted like I did, you will glue the side that is flat. This is the side that looks like a braid. In other words, the braid is the side that goes face down, if that makes sense. After it is glued on all four sides, I take the beginning of the cord and insert it to the loop of the tail and pull it in the opposite direction to tighten. Here is where the tail comes into play. You will just glue it down around the coaster like so until you come full circle. Once you have made it back full circle, you will again just tuck and glue down the ends of the cord and cut them down. For this next DIY, I took some nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, unraveled it, set aside 2 strands. I also have a 6-inch embroidery hoop, and I'm going to use the inner part. Start off by tying 1 strand of nautical rope onto the loop and then glue the tip down. You will also want to repeat this to the other side. The important thing here is that you have 1 strand on the left side of the loop, and then you'll have 1 strand on the right side of the loop. Now, I will be tying a square knot around the embroidery hoop. And to tie a square knot, all you're going to do is grab 1 strand of the nautical rope and then form a little loop and then hold it in the middle. And then you're going to grab the other side and do the same thing, form like a little U, but you're not going to hold it in the middle. What you're going to do is bring the strand under, and then you're going to pull it out onto the other side of the loop. In order for the square knot to start forming, what you did on one side, you want to do on the other side. And you will just continue to do this all the way around the loop. So the next thing to do is to grab a Dollar Tree mirror like you see here, take off the frame, and then before you glue it on, you're going to grab a bobby pin and then tie it around the front end of the cord, and you're going to weave it onto the back. So now that I weaved the front cord to the back, what I'm going to do is go in and knot it. But I'm going to make sure that my knot lays flat. This is just going to be extra security so that it stays in place. And then afterwards, I'm going to go in and start gluing everything together. But I'm not actually adding glue onto the mirror itself, but onto the little cord. I then placed the mirror on top of the embroidery hoop and it fit perfectly. I did not have to make any adjustments. I also glued the hanging strands of nautical rope to the back side of the mirror like so. I want this piece to hang up on the wall, so I'm going to make a hanger with the remaining cord that we have. So what I've done already is twist it together and fold it in half like you see here. And then I grab a piece of yarn that I cut about 30 inches or so. Now I'm going to make a gathering knot. And in order to make a gathering knot, what you're going to do is fold the yarn in half and place it on top of the handle that you already have. Now with the remaining string, all you're going to do is wrap it around the cord all the way down. And when you're at the bottom, there's going to be a little loop, and you're going to pull the tip of the yarn that you've been wrapping all the way down through the loop. And at the very top where we started making the knot, all you're going to do is pull the string, and then the loop is going to carry the tip of the yarn. I hope that makes sense. And then you can just cut off the remaining string. So I decided not to cut off the remaining string, and instead I continued to wrap it down, and then I just glued it so it looks like this. But either or is optional, and either or looks nice. At this point, I decided that my mirror needed a little bit more, so I went into my stash and I found this elephant's ear. And all I'm going to do is just cut off a couple of leaves from the elephant's ear and then just glue it onto the bottom of the mirror. Also, I felt like it needed a little bit more, and so I'm going to go in with this lace ribbon and just make a little bow, just something very simple. If there was some baby's breath, I would love to have put it between the bow and actually the elephant's ear. It would have looked super adorable. But this is really what I came up with at the moment with what I had. Alright, my lovely people, that is all I have for you today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video so far. I do have some more boho DIYs coming up, as well as some fall DIYs. So I really hope to see you guys in the next video. And until then, have a beautiful and blessed day. Bye!